Hello and welcome to Setup Phase. Today I will be doing a playthrough of Thorne Adventures using the Twisted Forest one-shot adventure map. I will also be playing the Gunslinger, which is available in the Season 2 battle chest. Before we begin, we have a bit of setup to make. Based on the adventure map, our health starts at 60. We also start with 2 combat points. And we also get to roll 2 times on the loot sheet at level 4. We roll the d20 and determine the intersection between the number and the level that we are rolling on. We rolled a 14 and on loot level 4 we get an epic card. When we get a new card, we draw 3 cards from the corresponding deck of cards and pick one to keep into our hand. We cannot pick cards which have a solo crossed on them because they are not compatible with solo game. In our case, we only have 2 options, either the bolus or the cursed bracers. And I will pick the bolus. We get 1 more roll. And this time we rolled a 2, which is a common card. Just like before, draw 3 and keep 1. I think the prophetic orb sounds interesting if we get to play it. We also draw our starting hand of 4 cards. And we begin by moving along the path on the one-sheet adventure map. Our first encounter will be with a level 4 minion. For the minion we have Raging Berserker. It has 30 health and 4 combat points. It also starts with a King's Hand token, which he will use when he cannot meet its role objective. It has first strike, which means he will go first before us. We roll the 5 dice and we try to meet his role objective. He has 3 chances to do so. It's a good start. 2 swipes and 1 chaos. And the 3rd swipe. His ability Unchained Anger says that he gets to roll 2 dice plus 1 more for each chaos token that he has, up to a maximum of 5 dice, but he doesn't have any chaos tokens at the moment. And it deals damage equal to the total value rolled. Let's roll 2 dice. And it deals 8 damage. But we can activate our own defense ability called Duel. You and your attacker each roll 1 die. If your roll is greater, you may choose to either deal 3 damage back or prevent half of the damage rounded up. If your roll is not greater, we deal 1 damage. Let's roll and see what we get. We rolled a 5 and the minion rolled a 1. Now I get to choose either deal 3 damage back or prevent half of the damage rounded up, and I will prevent half of the damage and only take 4. His passive ability is not in effect because he did not fail the offensive roll phase. We now go to us, where during the upkeep, because of our passive ability Quick Draw, we gain 1 reload. Reload is a positive status effect that we can spend when we are attacking to roll 1 die and deal half of the value as damage rounded up. During the income phase, we get 1 combat point and draw a card. We are now in the main phase, where we can spend combat points to play cards. And I think I will spend 2 combat points in order to play Take Cover 2, which upgrades our ability. We now have an extra ability called Mark the Target that we can use. I won't play any more cards. I start by rolling the dice. Just like the minion, I get 3 chances to activate one of my abilities. I may choose to keep any of the dice and reroll the others, or just activate one of the abilities. And I will activate Mark the Target. It gains us 2 evasive, which are a positive status token that we can spend when being attacked. And for each one spent, we get to roll a die. On a result of 1 or 2, we get to avoid the damage. We may spend as many tokens as we have in order to try to prevent the damage. We also inflict bounty on the enemy, which is a negative status effect. It adds 1 more damage to incoming attacks, and the attacker will gain 1 combat point. We cannot use our reload because we did not inflict damage. With this, there are no more cards that I want to play. I can just end the turn. We go back to the minion, where he has, again, 3 chances to activate his roll objective. And he has it in the first try. Just like before, roll 2 dice and deal the damage. He would deal 4 damage. We can activate our defensive ability. We both roll 1 die and check which one is greater. It is equal, but our defense ability says that only if the roll is greater than the enemy's. We don't prevent any damage, we take 4, but we get to deal 1 damage back. Now it's our turn. In the upkeep phase, we gain 1 more reload. The stack limit is 2, which means we cannot have more than 2 reloads at a time. We gain 1 combat point and a card. I will spend 2 combat points in order to upgrade the die. And I roll the dice. I might as well keep these and roll again. It's another 4. It's another 6. There's nothing that I can activate except Mark the Target. I will gain 1 more evasive. I would get 2, but the stack limit for evasive is 3. And just end my turn. Back to the minion. He has 3 of the ones that he's looking for. And the other one. Just like before, 2 dice and inflicts the damage. This time 5. We get to roll our defense. We did not roll higher than him, so he takes 1 damage. We would take 5, but I will try to evade it by spending the evasive token and roll a die. On a 1 to 2, I avoid the damage. And I do. His turn is done. Back to us. We would gain 1 reload, but we already have 2. 1 combat point and 1 card. I will sell 1 more time for 1 combat point by discarding it, and I will spend 2 combat points in order to play Revolve 2. Let's now see if we can actually do some damage. Sure, let's keep all these ones. And that's it. We have 4 bullets. This means that we can activate Revolver to deal 5 damage. This is defendable damage, and the minion can activate his defense ability, which says that if you receive any damage as a result of an opponent's offensive roll phase, gain a chaos token. This applies even when attacked with an ultimate ability. But before that, I will spend the 2 reloads in order to modify the attack. I roll 2 dice and add half of the damage rounded up to my attack. And I add 1 and 1. Let's calculate the damage. It's 5, 6, 7, 8 because of the bounty. The minion gains a chaos token, and I also get 1 combat point because of bounty. I now complete my turn and go back to him. He has two more rolls. He keeps another one, and he has 1 more roll to try to get the chaos symbol. And he did not. In this case, he spends the King's Hand token to try to get another offensive roll phase. You take a look at the one-shot adventure map, and you will see the success value for the King's Hand token. He rolls a die, and based on the information, the successful roll value is from a 3 to a 6. And he rolled a 4, which means he goes straight into another offensive roll phase. And now he has it. He rolls 2 dice plus 1 for each chaos token that he has. And deals us 8 damage. Just like before, let's activate our defensive ability. We again rolled equals, so he takes 1 damage. And I will use evasive in order to try to evade it. We rolled a 4, let's use the other one. And we rolled a 2, enough to evade this damage. We get 1 combat point, 1 reload, and a card. Let's go directly into the roll phase. And maybe try to go for take cover. No. No. We can activate Revolver 2. We deal 4 damage, and I will spend this reload token to roll a die and do another damage. So 4, 5, 6 because of the bounty. Gets him to 13. He gains another chaos token. And we get 1 combat point because of bounty. And I end my turn. He had it in the first go. Okay. He rolls 4 dice this time. And he deals us 12 damage. Let's roll our defense. We rolled lower than him. He takes 1 damage. And we take 12. Back to us. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 1 card. I will spend 1 combat point to upgrade Bounty Hunter. I would like to actually defeat him. So I will spend 1 more combat point to play Spin the Chamber to get another reload. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our large straight, which I will activate. We gain 2 evasive and deal 7 damage. And I will spend, let's start with 1, reload, and deal 3 more. We are at 10, plus 1 from the bounty 11. I will spend the second one in order to do 1 more. 7, 10, 11, 12 because of the bounty, and 1 combat point. It's enough to defeat him. When we defeat a minion, we gain its reward. In this case, is a loot chest at level 4. We get a 1, which is a common card. Just like before, we draw 3 cards, choose 1 to keep into our hand. I will take generous, which gives us 2 combat points. We now get to fight a level 3 minion. And the minion is the Chimera. It has 20 health points and 4 combat points. It doesn't have first strike, which means we get to go first. We get 1 reload, 1 combat point, and 1 card. I will spend 3 combat points in order to play the equipment that we got. The Prophetic Orb. This equipment stays in play and says that during your income phase, we draw 2 cards instead of 1, then choose one of them to put on the top or bottom of the deck. I will also use Generous in order to gain 2 combat points and play Roulette for 1 combat point. We roll a die, and based on the result, we do damage or inflict some status effects. We roll the dash, and on a dash we inflict knockdown. Knockdown says that the enemy must spend 2 combat points or skip their offensive roll phase. I now go into my offensive roll phase. I would like to inflict bounty on him. So let's keep 1, 2, and the bullseye. And of course not. For 1 combat point, I will play Tippet, which allows me to increase or decrease any die by the value of 1. I will make this 5 into a 6. With this, I have enough to activate Bounty Hunter 2. I inflict bounty, and I deal 2 undefendable damage, which means the minion cannot activate its defensive ability, and I will also spend the reload in order to add 1 more damage. We do 2 damage, 1 because of the reload and 1 because of the bounty, due to the fact that we inflicted it before we dealt the damage, and 1 combat point. The enemy is down to 16 health. I end my turn. To the enemy, he spends 2 combat points in order to remove knockdown. And now he goes into his offensive roll phase, where he tries to roll 3 chaos. And he has 2 right off the bat. He failed his offensive roll phase, but he has a passive ability. On a failed offensive roll, roll 1 die. On a swipe, begin a new offensive roll phase. This effect may only happen once per turn. And of course, he rolled a swipe. First roll. Second roll. And third roll. I don't want to take any of those. I will spend Helping Hand by paying 1 combat point. Select one of your opponent's dice and force them to reroll, and I will force them to reroll 1 of the 6 into a 2. He doesn't have enough to activate his ability, and he also used his passive ability this turn. This means that he just ends his turn. Back to us. 1 reload, 1 combat point, 2 cards, and I get to put 1 of them to the bottom or the top of the deck. I will put So Wild to the top of the deck and take Duel. And we go straight into the offensive roll phase. Oh. Okay, sure, why not? I will keep the 3 bullseyes. No. I have 2 choices. I can either activate Bounty Hunter or Enforcer, and I think I will just activate Bounty Hunter. I inflict bounty, but he already has bounty and the stack limit is 1. I do 2 undefendable damage, but I will use the reload in order to add 3 more damage for a total of 5, plus 1 for bounty, 6. And I also get 1 combat point. With this, I end my turn. Oh, this was a 6. He failed again his offensive roll phase, so rolls a die, and he got a swipe. He has 1 more chance to roll 2 6s. And he failed his offensive roll phase for the second time. This means that his turn just ends. Back to us, 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards. I will keep So Wild and put Try again to the bottom of the deck. I won't play any cards. Let's go to the offensive roll phase. Let's keep all these bullets and re-roll. We have 5 bullets. I can activate Revolver 2. I don't have 4 of a kind to inflict knockdown. I only deal 6 damage. I will use the reload in order to increase this damage by 3, because it's half of the die value rounded up. 6, 9, plus 1 for the bounty token, 10, and I also get 1 combat point. But before he dies, he activates his defensive roll phase, where he rolls a die, and on a vortex he inflicts 3 undefendable damage. We defeated the minion, and the reward is a loot chest at level 4. We rolled a 10, which is a rare card. And I will take So Wild 3. We now have a choice. We can either take the right path in order to fight a level 3 minion, gain a salve which heals us for 6 health, and a loot chest at level 2, or a loot chest at level 1 and an easier fight for a level 2 minion. Let's go with a level 3. And we fight the Blackroot Elf. It has 15 health points and 2 combat points. No first strike, so we go first. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards, which we need to choose what to do with them. I will keep double up at the top and take Fan the Hammer. I will spend 3 combat points in order to upgrade my defense to dual 2. Now we get to prevent damage if our dice roll is equal or greater, not just greater. And let's roll. We have 3, 4, 5. We can keep these and roll the other 2. Ooh, 6. Okay, I'll go for Bounty Hunter. And again, I have 2 choices. I can either do Bounty Hunter or Enforcer. I think I will do Enforcer this time. I gain 1 evasive, I inflict bounty, and knockdown. I can do it on 2 chosen opponents, but I only have 1. With this, I end my turn, and we go to the minion, where first he must spend 2 combat points in order to have an offensive roll phase. He's looking for straight. He will keep 2, 3, 4, and 5s. 1 and 6 only if 1 and 6 only if it forms a small or large straight. So 2 and 3. 4, 5, 6. He inflicts Wither, a negative status effect which reduces the damage that we do by 1 and deals us 10 defendable damage. Let's defend first with our dual 2. Of course we failed. This means he takes 1 damage. And I will use evasive in order to try to prevent the damage. I rolled a 5, a 4, and a 1, which prevents all the damage. Back to us. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 1 card. So 2 cards and choose what to do with them. I will leave double up at the top and take showdown 2. I will play bolus 2. It doesn't cost any combat points. We get to draw a card and inflict knockdown on a chosen opponent. I will spend 2 combat points for Fender Hammer 2 and another 2 combat points for Showdown 2. Let's now roll our dice. And I think I will just stop here. I will activate Bounty Hunter 2, inflict bounty, but he already has it, 2 undefendable damage, and I will spend these 2 reloads in order to roll 2 dice and do 2 plus 1 more damage. This gives us a total of 5 damage. We would do 1 more damage because of bounty, reduced by 1 because of wither. And we also get 1 combat point and 5 damage. This is again undefendable damage, so he doesn't activate his defense ability. With all of this, I can end my turn. The Blackroot Elf would need to spend 2 combat points to remove knockdown and have another offensive roll phase, but he doesn't have any more combat points, which means he just skips his entire turn. Back to us. 1 combat point, 1 reload, and 2 cards which we get to choose what to do with them. I will put Better Tea at the bottom and get that out of here. Which I will... No, I don't. Let's go straight into our offensive roll phase. I would ideally like to do a knockdown on him. So I'll keep 4 and 5. Not what I wanted. I have enough to activate Pistol Whip. We gain 1 evasive. We inflict knockdown again on him. And we do 1 undefendable damage. I will use the reload to increase the damage by 2. And again, +1 for bounty, -1 for wither. For a total of 3 damage. And 1 combat point. Undefendable damage, so he doesn't get his defense ability. Back to him, where he again doesn't have combat points to spend, so he just skips his turn. 1 combat point, 1 reload for us, 2 cards. I will take bye-bye and leave what status effect on the top. I have only 6 cards in hand, which is the hand limit. Next turn, I will either need to play cards or sell them. But for now, I will just roll the dice. We can keep going like this. Sure, why not? I will activate Pistol Whip again. Gain 1 evasive, knock down 1 undefendable damage, and I'll spend the reload to deal 3 more, +1 for bounty, -1 for wither. 4 damage, undefendable, and 1 combat point because of bounty. His turn, nothing to do. Back to us. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards. I will take what status effect and put Wild West at the bottom. I now need to either play cards or sell them. And counterintuitively, I will play double up for 1 combat point to draw 2 cards. And triple up for 2 combat points to draw 3 cards. Getting paid gets me 2 combat points. I might as well spend 1 combat point for Get It Out of Here to remove a status effect from a chosen player and remove this Wither. I now have 8 cards in my hand. Let's go into our offensive roll phase. One, two, three, 5, and I will reroll the 3. 6, 5. I will use So Wild 3 to change the value of any 1 die, and I will change this 5 into a 4. With this, I have the large straight. I gain 2 evasive, but I can only hold 1 more, and deal 8 defendable damage. He rolls his defense of 5 dice, and onto Vortex he prevents half of the damage rounded up. It's not enough. He gets 4 damage, enough to defeat him, but we also get 1 combat point because of bounty. At the end of the turn, I still have to decide which card I will sell. And I think I will sell Transference for 1 combat point. As a benefit for defeating him, we get to roll for a loot at level 3. We rolled an 8, and we get a Flight. Flight is a positive status token. We can use it in 2 ways. We can use it to modify an attack during the offensive roll phase and roll 2 dice. And if one of them is a 6, we get to make that damage undefendable. Or we can use it during the defensive roll phase to spend it and roll 2 dice. If one is a 6, we evade all damage. The minion is defeated. We get our reward, a salve and a roll on level 2 for a 15, which is a common card. We have one that we cannot use on solo. I will choose Helping Hand too. Now we have to fight a level 1 minion. And it's going to be a Drag Lackey, starting with 12 hit points and no combat points. This will be easy to knock down. He doesn't have first strike, we go first. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards, and choose what to do with them. I will take Vegas Baby, and I will play it. We get to roll a die and get half of the value as combat points. 4, we get 2 combat points. I again have 7 cards. I will need to deal with them by the end of this turn. Let's keep the 2 6s. And another one. I will spend 1 combat point in order to play Samesies to change the value of one of your die to be identical to the value of another die. And I will make 1 a 6. We can activate Dead Eye 2. We inflict knockdown and deal 8 undefendable damage. And I will spend the reroll. Let's spend 1 first. 8 plus 3, it's 11. And the other one. And another one for 12. This is undefendable damage. He cannot activate his defense ability, so we just defeat him. Our reward is a roll on loot level 1. And 8, we get another flight. The stack limit for flight is 3. We again get a reward at loot level 1 because of our adventure map. And this time it's a 9, where we get to draw 1 card. We have reached the end, and we now must fight a boss. This time the boss will be the Fallen Monk. Let me just set him up and I'll be right back. And here he is. Just like all bosses, he has 2 decks, one for action cards that he will play during the fight, and one for upgrade. We start with the upgrades. We take a look at the one-shot adventure map, and the upgrade combat points is 7. This means he has 7 combat points to spend for his upgrades. He will draw cards from the shuffled upgrade deck, pay the combat points, and upgrade his board until he cannot pay anymore. For 2 combat points, he upgrades Furious Fist to Furious Fist 3. For 2 more combat points, he upgrades Imbalanced 3. For 1 combat point, he gains Palm Strike 2. And he would upgrade next his defense, but he doesn't have 3 combat points to spend, so he discards this card and ends his upgrade phase. His starting CP is again dictated by the one-shot adventure map, which is 2. And his starting health is 45. Like with minions, we start first. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards, and choose what to do with one of them. I have so much combat points, I will take Showdown 3. And I will play it by spending only 1 combat point because it upgrades Showdown 2 and I only pay the difference. I still have 7 cards. I need to do something with them. And let's not forget, he starts with 3 King's Hand tokens. I would like to inflict bounty on him as soon as possible. Let's reroll all of them. And we have enough. But maybe go for damage. Bullseye. I will spend 3 combat points in order to play twice as wild to change the value of 2 dice to any value. And I have 5 bullseyes. I can activate my ultimate ability. But before I do that, he will spend 1 King's Hand token to force me to reroll one of the dice. Just like the minions, his successful roll is 3 to 6. And he rolled a 6. This means that I need to reroll one of my dice. But I was prepared for it. I spent 1 combat point to place it, to turn it back into a 6. His limit is 1 King's Hand token per turn. We gain 1 evasive, but we are at the limit. We inflict bounty. We inflict knockdown. We deal 10 damage, and if we spend reloads, we may reroll that die 1 time. I will spend 1 of it. And it's a 5. I won't reroll it. Let's see the damage. It's undefendable damage. It's 10 from the ability, 3 because of the reload, 13, and 1 more because of bounty, 14. We also get 1 combat point for the bounty. Now we go to his turn. He will spend first the knockdown by spending 2 combat points in order to have an offensive roll phase. In the upkeep, he gains 1 combat point and draws a card. We gain the benefit on the right side of the card, which is a +1 damage. And if he can, he will spend combat points to activate the card. And in this time, he can by spending 1 combat point. He rolls 4 dice and heals based on the results. He heals a base 1 +2 for each vortex. He rolled 2 vortex, he heals for 5. His role objective is listed on the card that he drew. In our case, is straights. Just like minions, he keeps 2, 3, and 5. So he has 1, 2, 3, and 5. He failed his role objective, but he would still activate anything that he can on the board, prioritizing the ability with the highest number on its lower left side. Based on his role, the only thing that he can activate is Palm Strike. He deals 8 defendable damage, and on 2 of a kind, he gains a Chaos token. 8 defendable damage. This means we can roll our defense ability. We rolled a 5, and so did he. But because we upgraded the defense ability, our roll must be equal or greater. We can now choose to either prevent half of the damage, round it up, or deal 3 damage back. Before I choose that, I will spend evasives in order to try to evade the damage. And I did. I still get to use my defense ability. I will deal 3 damage. And he deals us nothing. With this, he ends his turn. I get 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards, and choose what to do with them. I will take Quick Draw and play it. It's an upgrade for our passive ability. We still get 1 reload during the upkeep phase, but when we spend it, we may reroll it once. We can now roll our dice. We have 2, 3, 4, 5. And another 5. Our options are the small straight or take cover 2. Let's use take cover 2. I gain the evasive back. I deal 6 defendable damage. I will spend reroll. And I can reroll once because of the upgraded passive ability. And I will spend this +1. This means 6 for the ability, 7 because of the reload, 8 because of the +1, 9 because of the bounty token, and 1 combat point. This is defendable damage. He gets to activate his defense ability by rolling 3 dice. He gets 2 swipes and deals us 2 damage back. He prevents 1 damage for each vortex, then remove chaos tokens and prevent 1 damage per token removed. He spends 1 chaos token, prevent another damage. He takes 7 out of the 9. I end my turn, back to him. 1 combat point, and 1 card. We get 2 combat points because of the benefit on the right side of the card. He would spend 3 combat points to transfer all negative status effects from yourself to the active player, but he doesn't have that much combat point. So he just sells the card for 1 combat point. His role objective is still on the card, straights again. Oh, he has 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. He activates Furious Feast. He gains 2 evasive, which work just like us. Deals 14 damage, then remove all chaos token and add 1 damage per token removed. Well, I don't want to take 14 damage. Let's start with the defense ability. We again rolled 5s. I can either deal 3 damage or prevent half of it rounded up. Now for the evasive. No, second try. And we evade the damage. This means that I will just deal his 3 damage. He ends his turn. We go back to me. I get 1 combat point, 1 reload, get to look at 2 cards. I will keep Wanted at the top and take It Led. I think at this point I will spend what status effect for 2 combat points to remove all status effect tokens from a chosen player, and I will remove it from our enemy. Even though we remove the bounty, we cannot remove King's Hand tokens. Now we can roll our dice. We have 3, 4, 5. Sure. 3, 4, 5, 6. I can either activate Mark the Target or Showdown, or even Pistol Whip. Let's activate Pistol Whip this time. I gain 1 evasive, I inflict knockdown, and I deal 1 undefendable damage. I will spend the reload in order to add 2 more for a total of 3. And I will spend It Led for 1 combat point to roll 5 dice. And I had 1 more damage per each bullet. We had 3, 4, 5 damage in total, undefendable. Back to his turn. He gets 1 combat point, 1 card. He will spend 2 combat points to remove knockdown. He's down to 1. He will use Covers 2 to gain 3 more combat points. And draws another card. As a benefit for 6 Fusion 2, we get to draw a card. And he will spend combat points during the roll phase to change 2 dice with the lowest value to a 6. And his roll objective is Chaos. He now spends 2 combat points to change the 3s to a 6. And he can activate Shattered Zen. And I will let him. He deals 9 undefendable damage, then remove all chaos token and add 1 damage per chaos token removed. He doesn't have any. Let's spend our evasive in order to try to evade it. And we did. It's good that we roll low numbers. We take no damage, his turn ends. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 2 cards. I don't really care. Let's take better D and put try again at the top. I will spend 2 combat points in order to play Wanted to inflict bounty on a chosen opponent. Let's go for some 6s. Or not. I can spend 2 combat points for So Wild in order to change the value of any 1 die, and I'll make this one a 6. I can activate Deadeye 2. I inflict knockdown. 8 undefendable damage. I will use the reload. And reroll once because of the passive ability. So 8 plus 1 from the reload, 9 plus 1 from the bounty, 10 undefendable damage. And 1 combat point for us. Back to him. He gets 1 combat point, 1 card. He will spend 2 combat points in order to remove knockdown. The card that he drew is free to play. He gains 2 health. And draws another card. Oh my god. He gains 2 combat points and draws another card. We gain a salve as a benefit. And he will spend 3 combat points in order to gain 5 chaos. And now his role objective is straight, the last card that he drew. 2 and 3. 4, 5. His choices are either Chaos Infusion or First Barrage, but because First Barrage has the higher number, he will choose that one. He gains a Chaos token. The stack limit is 6. He deals 7 damage, then remove all Chaos token and add 1 damage per token removed. He removes all 6 to add 6 more. This makes it 13 damage. Time for defense. And we roll the 1. I will play better D. A chosen player may perform an additional roll attempt. And I get a 4, which means I can either deal 3 damage or block half of the damage rounded up. Let's spend this evasive. And I evade it again. I deal 3 damage. Back to us. 1 combat point, 1 reload, 1 card. Actually 2 cards and choose 1. I will take Wild West. And let's roll. We need to do 7 damage. And I have no way to change the dice anymore. There we go. I will activate Deadeye, inflict knockdown, and spend the reload in order to do 2 more damage for a total of 10, which is enough to defeat the fallen monk. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough of Thorne Adventures. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.